We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Cards.
Right now, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
And yeah, on the news not too long ago, alright, Trump has recently ordered 2 nuclear submarines, alright, and you know, to be in an appropriate region near Russia, right? Anyways, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash, and the honors to the apostles and others, great Muslim salutations to the hopeful elect. This is brother I know Allah from Gemma, Chicago, and this is going to be a quick lesson on about what you're seeing here on the news recently, and let's go ahead and play this video. Alright.
Clorox toilet wand,
commercial.
one clean. Oddly satisfying. Surprisingly easy. Clorox. Clean feels good.
And some breaking news coming into our newsroom at this hour. President Trump has announced that the U.S. will be moving 2 nuclear submarines in light of remarks made by former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. Trump and Medvedev have traded jabs in recent days after the president shortened the deadline for Russia to make a ceasefire with Ukraine. More on this, I want to bring in senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez. And Louis, what are these submarines actually going to be doing here?
That is a really good question, Alex, and actually triggers a whole lot of other questions. Number one, were these already submarines that were deployed to the area as part of the regular deployment of the U.S. submarine force around the world? What kinds of submarines are we talking about? If it's an
Now to breaking news. President Trump says he has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the, quote, appropriate regions in response to threatening comments made by Russia's former president.
It's the latest development in the escalating tensions as the president pressures Russia to end the war with Ukraine. Investigative reporter Tim McNicholas has the latest developments.
President Trump announced on Truth Social Friday that he ordered 2 nuclear submarines be positioned in the, quote, appropriate regions in response to what President Trump describes as the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. He's referring to Medvedev's social media post this week after Trump threatened to impose new sanctions on Russia. Medvedev wrote, "Each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war. Not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country."
And then, we're going to put on tariffs and stuff.
First on Air Force One and then at the White House, Trump said he will impose new sanctions on Russia if it doesn't agree to a ceasefire with Ukraine by the end of next week.
Yeah, we're going to put sanctions. I don't know that sanctions bother him.
Trump's Truth Social post Friday said he's positioning the nuclear submarines just in case these foolish and inflammatory comments are more than just that. Trump concluded his post, quote, "Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances." The White House has not said exactly where those submarines will be placed. Jessica and Dick.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much.
And yeah, that's what you're saying right now. And it's lucky. But yeah, that's what you're seeing right now. On the news, what it says here in Revelations 11, and I'm gonna start with 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. and that's what we're starting to see. All right, the third world war is coming quickly, and it's going to be by the way of nuclear fire. All right, but before that, like we always say, all right, according to prophecy, all right, the R4D microchip still has to be implemented. All right. And yeah, you know, the Lord at the end of the day is in control, right? The reason why you're seeing that these tensions are escalating and you're seeing more wars and more rumors of wars that are kicking off is because the Lord is the one that's putting the spirit of these kings right here on this earth today, right, to come against each other, right, which is, you know, these different countries, right, nations, right. You got the current war. You got the current wars that's still going on, you know, with the Ukraine and Russia. All right, you got Israel and Palestine and Israel and Iran. You know, that kind of calmed down just for a little bit, you know, only for a while, but it will escalate. All right, and yeah, here in Isaiah 13. And 4 says, the noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. All right, and that's exactly what the Lord is doing. All right, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai is in control. He is the, you know, he's the one that is, you know, gearing up these nations and preparing them for war. All right. Verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And you know, whatever these nations are doing at the end of the day, whatever they want to do, really at the end of the day, you know, they're fulfilling the Lord's will. All right. Psalms 21 and Kings. There we go. The king's, Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. And then exactly, you know, that the Lord is in control at the end of the day, right? The Lord put the spirit on these, you know, on these today's governments, or, you know, presidents, you know, to do what the Lord wants to be done. All right. Let's go to Matthew 24 and in 6 it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And exactly, you know, we're hearing about these things on the news. You know, you're hearing about, you know, the tensions of, you know, all these escalations and you know, the possibility of a nuclear war. But hey, you know, it tells you that we're gonna hear these things first, all right? Yeah, we might see some other wars pop off here and there, but it's not going to go full-blown nuclear until the prophecy of the R4D microchip gets implemented first. All right, and right now we're just entering into the beginning of sorrows. So there's going to be hell on earth before the Lord returns. Right, verse 7: for nation shall rise against nation, race wars, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows, and that's what we're seeing right now. All right, you're actually seeing all these things on the news. Right, the pestilences, the famines that are occurring on, in Gaza, which will happen here in America eventually. The earthquakes, right? And these race wars that are about to pop off, especially here in America. All right. And you got tensions going on with all these countries too. Right? So yeah, we're at the beginning of sorrows just right now. Which one was I gonna bring? And yeah, something to rejoice about, because we're seeing these prophecies that are coming to pass. The Lord is a man that he should not lie, right? The words in these scriptures are faithful and true. You're actually seeing these things come to pass, right before your very eyes. Right, these things are happening. Right, they're no longer tearing. These prophecies are literally happening. They're not tearing anymore. Right. What it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And yeah, we're seeing these prophecies that are, coming to pass. All right, they're being made manifested right before our very eyes. You turn on the news, right? There's always something happening. All right, but hey, it's only a matter of time that the Lord is about to return. We always got to keep on doing what we got to do, making our calling of our election sure. All right, hopefully that we be of that number, all right, to be delivered. But as for the rest of these 2/3 in Esau, these heathen nations, hey, they're through, right? The Lord is not dealing with them, right? The Lord is only dealing with his remnant, right? His elect, the nation of Israel. But mainly his remnant at the end of the day, the 144,000. But with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. All right. Before you know it, we could be very well see the implementation of the RFID microchip real soon. So yeah. With that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai, and Shalom.